to Midlife is a Fickle Bitch. I'm your host, Cherie Smith, also known as the Feisty Midlife Courage Coach. I'd like to talk about how we can go from feeling unworthy in midlife to embracing our feisty side. But before we get started, I'd like to do a few exercises with you today. So if you're in a place where you can go grab a notebook or a piece of paper, fantastic. And if you're not able to participate at this moment, no worries. I'm still going to be sharing some valuable information. Okay, ready? Let's begin. Per the Merriam-Webster online dictionary, unworthy means lacking in excellence or value, poor or worthless. What exactly does that mean? Feeling unworthy is a painful emotion. And like many other emotions, it arises from a thought. Here are a few examples. We find ourselves sacrificing and compromising often. We're afraid to tell the truth. We feel guilty and apologize often. We don't feel respected. We believe that the more we are needed, the worthier we will feel. We have no idea what our dreams or desires are. We don't believe anyone can love us. We don't like who we are. We have a strong need to feel needed. We have trouble accepting help. Does any of that resonate with you? When we have feelings this strong, it can paralyze us, and in turn, we can feel lost and confused. For your first exercise, open up your journal or grab that piece of paper. And take a few minutes to jot down when the last time you felt unworthy and what did it feel like? Feel free to use the examples I shared as a starting point. Go ahead and press pause when you're finished. Press play because I'll be here when you're finished. Acknowledging our thoughts and how we feel is the first step in feeling worthy. How long do you think you've been feeling unworthy? Has it been a lifelong thing, or after you met your partner, had kids, or when you became an empty nester? It doesn't matter really. All that matters is that you deal with the elephant in the room. Become aware of your thoughts and feelings so that you can learn how to shift your mindset from negative thoughts to positive ones. Now that you've created your list, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the word feisty means? Take a minute and jot down your thoughts. Per the Merriam-Webster online dictionary, it means full of nervous energy, fidgety, touchy, or quarrelsome. Another definition is having or showing a lively aggression, aka spunky. My interpretation of feisty is a woman who is energetic, spirited, bold, strong, powerful, passionate, sassy, and gutsy. So is your definition close to what I just shared? If yes, you get a gold star, my friend. Let's do another exercise. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine what life would feel like if you were able to release all those feelings of unworthiness and really step into your power. Take a few more deep breaths and really imagine that beautiful feeling. Now open your eyes and remembering those feelings, jot them down. What is one thing on that list that you would like to shift from feeling unworthy to feeling feisty right now? Great, let's work on it together. Now, obviously, I don't know what your one thing is, but I'm going to use, we have a strong need to feel needed as an example. This can be feeling needed as a partner, a daughter, a friend, or a mom. Since we're discussing midlife, let's use the example of needing to feel needed as a mom. If you already have a child who has left the nest, rate how hard it was for you when you realized that you were no longer needed. For those of you who are getting ready for your child to leave the nest, you may not be able to rate this feeling yet, but perhaps you can rate the anxiety you're feeling about becoming an empty nester. Let's break this down. For the past 18 plus years, you've spent nurturing your child or children. You've been there to change their diaper, hold their hand at their doctor's appointments, let their hand go on the first day of school. You were a listening ear when they were having friend problems. You were their chauffeur for after-school activities, wiping tears from their eyes when their heart was broken, and being their biggest cheerleader as they choose to leave the nest, either because they go off to college, enlist in the military, or they just decide it's time to get their own place. Your heart is breaking just a little bit right now, right? Thinking about all those wonderful memories. Now think back to this though. Do you remember how frazzled you felt when they were younger and trying to do all the things? You wanted to be the perfect mom, but it was utterly exhausting. Thinking back to that moment, you were wishing they were all grown up and able to do those things on their own, right? You needed a break. And here you are, or you're getting ready for that moment when they're no longer in your home. Now you're thinking, I don't want them to leave. I'm going to miss them. Will they be okay? All of those what if scenarios start floating around in your head. Feeling needed is a wonderful thing. It gives us purpose. But when we're busy taking care of our children's needs, our needs end up getting pushed back. Sometimes it can also be a way to ignore other issues in our life, perhaps with our partner, our parents, our friends. And if we no longer are needed by our children, will we ever be needed by someone else ever again? When my son was accepted into college, I was excited for him, but I won't lie. I began to overthink things like so many moms do. I believe it's our way to have some sort of control over what's happening or going to happen. So I made a list to help me deal with what I couldn't control. He would be 45 minutes from home, so close enough for us to visit, but far enough away that he won't just stop by unannounced. My best friend lived minutes from the college, and she could be there immediately if there were an emergency. My parents lived about 25 minutes from college and would certainly help if needed. We raised a good kid, so I won't have to worry about him getting into trouble or choosing the wrong crowd. I'm not going to have to worry about what to make for dinner because I can eat what I want and what my husband wants instead of making sure that it's something he would like to eat as well. I will no longer have to make sure he's up and out the door to get to school on time. That means I could possibly sleep in a little longer. Instead of me preparing for him not needing me anymore and the feelings surrounding that, I kept myself busy by creating lists and telling myself over and over that everything will be okay until the day came and I wasn't okay. I still remember packing the car. Of course, I had a smile on my face, so he didn't sense that mom was worried. I still remember the drive. I still remember his reaction from the back seat when I took a photo and he gave me the thumbs up. I still remember standing outside the college building, waiting for them to bring us the cart so that we could unload our car and then take everything into his dorm room and unpack. I remained strong though and held it together when my husband and I decided to stop for dinner on the way home. When we arrived back home and we were changing, my husband asked how I felt about leaving Justin at college. To be honest, reality hadn't hit me yet. And I said, I'm cool. This will be great for all of us. Later that evening, I received a text from him with a video of kids that bombarded his dorm room. They were playing instruments and having all kinds of fun. It warmed my heart, and I felt confident that he was going to be a-okay. At first, it felt as if he was just on vacation with my parents, and I was getting a much needed break from being a mom. A few days later, I was in the kitchen and expected to hear his footsteps come down the stairs. I wanted to hear his voice say, "Mom, I'd like eggs and sausage for breakfast." Reality sunk in, and my little boy no longer needed his mama. Now, he still did need me, but it's in a different way, a mature way. How did I release that feeling? That feeling of needing to feel needed. I felt this unworthiness that he didn't need me anymore. I found it by finding me again. I released those negative feelings of he needs me to I need me. And there began my journey. While raising my son, I had forgotten what Cherie liked to eat, what Cherie liked to watch on TV, what Cherie wanted to do on a Friday night. I had pushed down so many of my wants to make room for feeling needed that I completely lost myself. To start my journey of feeling worthy again, I began having date nights with my husband. We also planned dinner dates with friends and met once a month to get us out of the house. I signed up for pole dance classes as well as burlesque. And I made a lot of new friends who were all about supporting one another and empowering each other. I'm a lasagna love chef, and once a month, I make a meal for a family that is struggling. It was about putting me first and learning to love who I am at this stage in life. Nobody else could fill my cup. It's my responsibility to find joy and filling that cup up each day with positive thoughts. We can't look to others to make us happy. And I think that is the hardest thing for a mom when their children leave the nest. Their children helped fill that cup. And when they're gone, eventually whatever was in that cup dries up. It's up to you now to find out how you're going to fill up that cup and keep it full. Being feisty is about doing things that make us feel alive again. Being bold, courageous, sexy, and fulfilled. What can you do to fill your cup that involves being feisty? If you're in this feeling unworthy cycle and looking to be feisty, go to my website and sign up for a free 30-minute discovery call. I'd love to talk to you about how we can shift those negative thoughts into positive ones so that you can live your best life and know that your cup is always filled because you are the one filling it. Just remember, you're not alone. We all feel this way at one point in our lives, and I'm here to be your biggest cheerleader. I hope that you realize you are worthy and you do deserve happiness and joy. Until next time, stay feisty, my friend.